Hello to you all and good Sunday afternoon. We're going to speak today about triggers. And triggers are those things that even if you think that you really have worked so many years at yourself and you are uncaged, you've released all the triggers from the past of yourself, all those things that you really suffered from, the people that you decided to unchain yourself from, or you decided that you want to get out of your own prison, as this Dr. Edith Eger wrote in a book. They took her 40 years to get out of her own prison camp of the Holocaust, long after Hitler. So, how do we release ourselves of the triggers? Is it possible? You can tell your wife, you can tell anyone, your sister, you can tell, oh, it really suits you, your black dress. Oh, you mean that I became fat? No, I didn't say that. I just said that the black suits you. No, you said that I went fat. I will never forgive you, and you don't like me anymore, and you're not attracted anymore, and I'm so hurt. I never said that. So people have triggers, and the question is, where does it start? And so we have to go not only to the beginning of your life and your childhood, but we have to go to even your previous life. But in short, those issues that in a nutshell you saw in your childhood, and that childhood carried on as long as you were at home, as long as you were at home, those are triggers. In other words, this is very important. It's a Kabbalistic kind of secret. Those things that you have experienced in your childhood are a short version of the previous chapter of all your lives. In other words, like you watch a series, and the last time you watched was a year back. And so you have at the beginning just a short version of what goes on through the experience in the beginning of your life. This is everything you bring from a previous lifetime as well. Your childhood, your parents, the relationship you saw between them. Your parents symbolize to you that epitome, that wonderful kind of utopian kind of relationship with your brothers, relationship facing your father, which is the male figure in your life, your role model, the relationship with your mom, good or bad, that all shape your life, and whether you're aware of it or not, these formulate triggers. Today, part of psychotherapy, which I've been dealing with for many years, is CBT. CBT is short for cognitive behavioral therapy, which means you anchor. And we're going to learn about it today. I'm going to give you many wonderful examples, and I'd like to hear from you also in the text if you have any questions about it. What is actually CBT and how do you use it and what is it based for? Well, most triggers are based on your deep core beliefs. It's not something that you're conscious of, it became ingrained in you, and it's already part of your subconscious. When we speak about holistic medicine, we speak about holistic therapy, most people are very much mistaken, even those who deal with it. They think that holistic or integrated means mind and body. No way. I am nobody without my spirit. I am nothing without my soul. When I go to sleep and you say, Gil, anyone home? Nobody is at home. Without my spirit, without my soul, which Kabbalistically we call the shape of your soul, your personality, your strength of character, I am, and so anyone else is nobody. So holistic means mind, body, and definitely the soul. When we do, for example, when we have an issue with a person because of many triggers, there's a whole Kabbalistic, um, I wouldn't call it a ritual, I would call it meditation, whereby it's called returning of the sparks, where we bring that person to us Kabbalistically and we rectify, tikkun in the original Kabbalistic and Hebrew language, with that person. When I call on to you, this is 97% of you is your spirit and your soul. Only 3% of you is triggered through your body. I'll give you a nice example. A good American soldier, a veteran, was walking down the streets of New York. He was after Vietnam, and he was highly triggered because he just came back from war where the survival rate is 16 seconds to stay alive. So he was really, really highly strung. He's standing at a cross section and waiting for the green light, where a person, just an elderly person, touched his shoulder, asking, "Excuse me, sir, which direction?" He was so highly triggered that he just gave him his elbow, which by Marines is a very strong elbow, and he killed him on the spot. This arrived in the New York High Supreme Court. He went completely scot-free because they said that was a trigger. He never had any intention of killing the person. So we know, Kabbalistically, we know from the Torah, from the Bible, that a person can always be triggered, asleep, alive, drunk, or not. And by the way, when people get drunk, many people love drinking because then they feel loose, then they feel released. They can say whatever they want. Yes, the truth is being revealed when you drink, but it's not your real self. Your subconscious comes out and you're unable to control yourself. So let's learn a little bit of CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, and I especially want to zoom in on your beliefs. I called it in the Hebrew and in English ABC. A is your actual event. Something happened. It's factual. No feelings attached to it. No feelings attached to it. Right. For example, a young man meets an elder man in the train station down in Phoenix, Arizona, or anywhere else in the States, or anywhere else in the world. And he asks him, "Excuse me, sir, what is the time?" This is the factual event that happened. The next thing is B, your beliefs. So the elder man answers the young man, "You should go to hell." "Excuse me," says the young man, "I'm so hurt." "Why? I asked you so politely. I thought you were a nice gentleman. Why do you answer me in such a way?" And he's really is hurt. He never expected such an outcome. And in his guy out of LA Fitness, he's got big muscles. He can really punch the guy out. He's martial art, black belt. "I want to understand, why did you answer me so rudely?" So the elder man says to him, "See." See is the consequence. The consequence always depends on what you believe. It never depends on what actually happened. It always is subjective, what you attach to that story because of your beliefs, which you many times are not aware of. So what is his belief system? He said to him as follows. I'm going to tell you, well, the time now is 1:40. MST, Arizona time, wonderful. And you're gonna see my not mine. You're gonna see my Rolex wonderful watch, which is $40,000. Mine costs $12 in Walmart. And so you're gonna say, "Wow, was such a wonderful watch. Where did you get it from?" I'm gonna answer to you, I've got my own watch shop about 2 stations down. You're gonna ask me for my business card. I'll give you my business card. You're gonna come down to my shop, and then you're gonna see on my dashboard, you got two pictures of my twin girls, one more beautiful than the other, and you're gonna ask me to date at least one of them, the more beautiful one. I'm telling you now, say, go to hell. Now, all this story he made up in his mind in 1 second, because in his mind all the time are his two wonderful, beautiful, pretty girls. And he saw this hunk of a man. He said, "Well, that's what's going to happen." In his mind, he built the whole story. But is it based on facts? No, it doesn't. It's based on his beliefs. It's based on his feelings. And so mostly people go there. I've been also in court as a family lawyer, as a mediator, and also many times consulting together with the courts on family matters, family issues, as a doctor of pastoral psychological therapy and a doctor of holistic counseling, to give my opinion to the court. And what we need to remember is just the facts. Do not attach anything to that. When we answer somebody, go down to the facts. The minute that you attach your feelings, your triggers from so many years with that person, you're already at a loss. Now, this is very interesting. There's a book out by Rockefeller. Rockefeller was the singular man, as a sole proprietor of many banks around the States, the richest man ever, not as a company, but as an individual person. He made a game with himself. The game was as follows, and you should take it very seriously to your life. If we speak and we negotiate, and you get angry first, you lost. Makes no difference what we negotiate, what is the dialogue, if we are spouses, if we are brothers, if we are best friends, if we're going to make business together in the 4 areas of life: career, health, you're my doctor, I'm yours, or relationships, or your spirituality, I'm your pastor, you are mine. Whatever it is that goes through your mind at that time, if you twitch fast, if you get angry fast, you get agitated, out of balance, because you go to those beliefs, to those feelings, you lost. Whatever we're doing, you already lost. Even if you are right and I triggered you, but I will always remember, oh, I'm so hurt. Look what you've done to me. And that's terrible. So stay factual. Learn to dissociate and detach your mind from what you think is that person say. If in doubt, you can say, well, I feel that you're really trying to hurt me. I feel that you're intentionally doing that. Is that correct? I feel not comfortable. I think I feel that you're hurting me. Is it? No, of course I'm not trying to hurt you. You're my best buddy. So ask that person a question of I feel. Ask the question that's question of what do you feel about that issue, about that event. Do not attach your feelings to that story. Now, this is very well said and done, but I'm going to touch with you. And again, if anyone has questions, you can either text me or you can send right here the text through the Instagram. It's also live right now in the YouTube. So I'm going to tell you something deeper, and that is we are all made of one of the four elements, four fundamental elements. We all have all the recipe, but for each and every one of us, one of those ingredients, one of those elements is the strongest. Some people are all about fire. They are leaders. They like to be in the center. They crave the stage. They want publication. They need significance of what they do. They really do, right? Let me see. I'm not sure why you can't hear me. I'm really trying to fix that. And I'm not sure why you cannot hear me. It's live. It's the voice is on. The highest we can do. Let me try and fix it again. Let me just see 1 second. What is wrong here? This is on. Yep, everything should be great, and I don't see why I cannot hear you. Right? So the point is, and this is on the highest. Can you hear me now? Is it better now? Just comment at the bottom will suffice if you can hear me now. So at any rate, we each are made of one of the four elements. If I'm very much fire, I'm a leader, I want significance, I want to be heard, I don't want anyone else to interrupt me from what I do, and it's difficult for anyone like this to hear other opinions. And that is the greatest trigger, the own. We are our own enemies. We are our own enemies. Some people, on the other hand, are the water elements. Water means the very passive, the very delicate, the more laid back, they don't like competition, and they don't need to be heard, right? And they're very gentle. So if you find such a person, it can be your spouse, it can be your child, it can be a friend, it can be your client or patient. If you handle them being all about fire with that aggressiveness or assertiveness, you can really crush their spirits. They're triggered by themselves. Again, we are own enemies. We should learn the other person's nature. And first and foremost, we must learn our own nature. The next level is the air element, the element of air. People that are outgoing, people that love the dialogue, people that are very platonic, they're not looking for deep relationship, they're looking for many relationships. They're looking for the variety. And they've got a very low threshold of boredom. They get bored so quickly. And so these kind of people have less triggers, but they can cause other people triggers. Say, I really missed you. Say, well, here we are, we're speaking now. So I meant, really, this is not very nice, right? And they meant, I never get serious with anyone, right? So I don't know why is it not possible to hear me. It should be okay over here. And I'm really not sure. Everything seems to be working very well. And I don't see a reason that this shouldn't work. Let me try it again. So, so wait. right? So we're trying to fix it, and I'm not sure why it's not working, right? But in the meantime, I'm going to summarize it soon. The next level is that level of the element of earth, which means people that are very earthly, people that need security, people that need the framework, people that are very reserved. To trigger them is more difficult, but if you touch on their finances or their security, it's very unlikely, it's very unlikely that they should be able to find again their own balance. To summarize, we are our worst enemies. The triggers that we, the triggers that we have, the triggers that we have all come, the triggers that we have all come from ourselves to start with, all come from from ourselves to start with, and not from other people. But then other people could have triggered us much more by being a very bad mirror of who we are and striking a discord of our own self, our own livelihood, our own experience in life. And so triggers, even if we treat and we go with people long way into psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, psychology, talk therapy, story therapy, that nevertheless doesn't go as deep in that, and triggers might always stay there as long as we didn't change our beliefs. But the day that we change our beliefs, right, we can definitely also change and work at our triggers and override those triggered with us. God bless you all.